There are 30 countries in NATO, and this is how its newest member, North Macedonia, chose to mark 1 year of being in the club. These displays of taking on the enemy, holding the line, and marching in unison are certainly for show. But they also underscore the bond shared among members. Because an attack against one ally is an attack against all, and every member has to be ready to defend the alliance. And right now, NATO says the biggest threat comes from Russia.
Russia continues its wide-ranging military build-up, from the Baltic to the Black Sea, in the Middle East and North Africa, and from the Mediterranean to the Arctic. Allies have called out Russia's disinformation and propaganda in its efforts to influence elections, cyber attacks, and its use of chemical weapons against political opponents, both at home and on our territory.
Some NATO members are on better speaking terms with Moscow, but the alliance's position with Russia is firmly in the grey zone. They aren't in open conflict, but it's far from friendly.
I think we all expect our relationship with Russia to remain a challenge into the foreseeable future, but it's one that we're prepared for. And ultimately, I think what we can hope is to have a relationship with Russia that is at least predictable and stable.
Reaching the point of stable ties isn't likely to happen anytime soon. The language from NATO's foreign ministers' meeting was explicit. Russia's aggressive actions constitute a threat to Euro-Atlantic security. The Russian news agency TASS reported a member of the State Duma Foreign Affairs Committee responding with, "NATO statements on threat and aggression from Russia are yet another mantra to justify the alliance's existence." The relationship between Russia and NATO crumpled after Moscow's annexation of Crimea in 2014. It's widely condemned by the international community as an occupation. This is Russian President Vladimir Putin earlier in March, celebrating the 7th anniversary of what Moscow calls Crimea's reunification.
Сказать, что мы готовы жить в новых геополитических условиях. Более того, мы рассматриваем наших соседей не просто как соседей, близких по географии. Мы рассматриваем народы этих стран как братский народ, готовы подставить им плечо и локоть для того, чтобы обеспечить развитие.
Russia hasn't shied away from playing a major role in its neighbourhood, or beyond. In recent years, Putin and the Russian government have been publicly named as aggressors by NATO members for everything from election interference to spreading disinformation about the coronavirus. And the UK government says Russia remains the most acute threat the country faces. After 4 years of the Trump administration's fractious relationship with NATO, the new US administration says it wants to revitalise the alliance, and it's put the Russian government on notice.
Putin seeks to weaken the European project and our NATO alliance. He wants to undermine the transatlantic unity and our resolve, because it's so much easier for the Kremlin to bully and threaten individual states than it is to negotiate with a strong and closely united transatlantic community.
But just how much of an effect will this renewed US involvement have on how NATO approaches Moscow? And will a show of unity reduce the threat felt by members? Natalie